if you would go to the Blackboard site and then go to current week, you'll note that there is a folder titled Week 14. And in Week 14, there are two new items. One of them is the text for the introductory statement by Fadden, which is the one that I did audio earlier in the semester. And then there are two audio files that I recorded, and one of them is in an MP3 format, which is very small, and then the other is in the WAV format. They are the identical recording, they've just been encoded in two different codecs, MP3 and .wav. What you will do is you will go to the Fadden.txt, and it will open up, and you will see all of the text. Copy by highlighting it. You can right-click to copy, and then go to your InDesign catalog, and you should have your cover. Your second page should be blank. Third page will say Table of Contents. And after Table of Contents, you will insert a blank page. So by going to Layout, Pages, Add Page. So on page 4, by getting the text tool, you'll draw a text box. And then we'll paste the text. Underneath this text, you will place the halftone of the IAIA Thunder Turkey logo. Do y'all remember how to do that? The text itself, you're going to highlight, and remember we defined paragraph styles. So by clicking on paragraph styles, it's going to be paragraph text. And that will automatically format the text. If the text box is too small, just by grabbing on your selector tool, you can drag it down until it fills it all. You'll then break the text up into at least 3 paragraphs. I would break it at the IAIA students, and then I might break it at the such notable alums. You decide where you would break it up. So that's paragraph text. Every section, whoops, sorry about that. And this is going to be a section, and we're going to use section headings as part of our table of contents. So where the art and the raw exhibit begins, you will format that by section heading, paragraph style. So what I would do here, I'm going to create a heading, and I'm going to call it 50 years of creativity. F-I-F-T-Y. Years of creativity. I'm going to highlight it, click section heading, and it automatically formats it to the paragraph style that I defined as section heading. Make sure that every section is formatted at the first page of that section with section heading. So we've got, if I go back to my pages now, Table of contents, I'm just leaving that as a placeholder, so don't worry about that. 50 years of creativity. Fadden statement, I'm going to delete that page. Just give me a second here. What page is that? 5? Okay. Curator statement, which would be your statement, for example, make sure in the paragraph styles that it's section heading. Art in the raw, for example, the text that introduces art in the raw, make sure that that is formatted to section heading. At the end of the document should be an acknowledgments and thanks page. We'll add that later, but make sure that's formatted to section heading. So far what I have in here that would be in my table of contents would be 50 years of creativity, your curator statement. There also should be the section of the stuff that's out on the dance circle. So that would be before art in the raw. So right now I'm just going to insert a page because I'm just using this to demo different parts of the catalog. So let's see. Layout pages, insert page. I'm just going to call it the dance circle, or I'm going to call it giving back, because that's what that curator statement by me is about. Art in the raw, acknowledgments and thanks, and any other sections that I noted in the changes there. So we have all these different sections with paragraph text or label text. Also, each section has section heading. Do we all have that understanding? Because now when we create a table of contents, so I'm going to go to my table of contents page. I'm going to delete that placeholder first. And under layout, table of contents, I want the table of contents, and I'm going to call it table of contents. Over in the other styles, I'm going to scroll down to section heading. Once I hit section heading, you'll note that it appears in Include Paragraph Styles. I'm also going to leave Create PDF Bookmarks. When I click OK, I'll get one of those little placement units. Wham! There it is. But the magic isn't over yet. This slices, dices, and makes mountains of coleslaw. So now I'm going to format the text a little bit. Because I want to reduce the type size a touch. So I'm going to drop it down to 24 point. Whoops. Now why am I getting that extra? Just give me a second here. Command Z. Command Z. There should not be that large. Command Z. Oh, I know why. I want all of my page numbers to line up over on the right side. So by going to the numbers, and hitting the tab key, I now have all of my numbers lined up under table of contents. And you'll note that every section heading that I defined with that paragraph style now appears as my table of contents. I would then save. Now I want to test it out. And I'm going to show you a different kind of export. So I'm going to export, and instead, I'm going to export it in a Flash player for now. So when it'll show that stylesdemo.swf, Shockwave Flash, and I'm going to export it to my desktop just because it makes it easy to find. Now when I click Save, I'm going to export all pages, generate HTML file, view it after exporting. I'm going to leave it at 100%. I could have page transitions. So for example, I'm going to put it to, let's see, dissolve. And you can experiment with different transitions if you like. I could have include interactive page curl. What that does is if someone moves to the lower right-hand side of the page, it'll look like the page wants to flip over and turn, like you're flipping it with your fingers. I'm going to leave that off for now. So now when I click OK, I have some broken links in here, and I'm not going to mess with those right now. I now have an interactive Shockwave file. So when I click Cover, and you remember we created those buttons, it goes to the next page, which is blank. And it did the dissolve crossfade. 50 years of creativity. That's doing it page by page. Or, if someone in a fit of madness wants to click on one of the table of contents items, it takes them right to that section. You will wonder how you ever lived without this program. Do all of your sections, are they all formatted to, you have to go in and format each section, you know, with the lead text. You have the paragraph, I'll show you. You got to check to make sure, where am I? You got to make sure that every section heading in your paragraph styles, it has the section heading. So there's paragraph styles. You remember when we defined those? You don't have a paragraph style section heading? Who said that? Were you here on that day when we did paragraph styles? Okay, well, I'm sorry? You have nothing under paragraph styles. Are you in advanced? Is there anyone else who is experiencing that issue? Okay, I'll show you how to do it again. Okay, so when you click on paragraph styles, you'll note the little subheading appears.
Yeah, you just got basic paragraph message. I remember doing that, but it's
Okay, you may not have saved it then. Okay, so all you do to create a paragraph style is you will click create new style. which is the one that looks, I think it's the third icon in. When you click Create New Style, it gives you paragraph style 1. You right-click on that and click Edit Paragraph Style 1. And then you will call it Section Heading. You will then go to Basic Character Formats. Hold on just 1 second here. I've actually got to delete my other section heading so I can do this one. Okay, paragraph style 1. Delene, I'll get to you just a second. I have to focus on one thing at a time. Okay, are we all there? Well, are all 3 of us there? All right, you right-click, Edit Paragraph Style 1. You'll call it Section Heading. You'll go to Basic Character Formats. You'll select a font. In this case, I'm just going to leave it at Minion Pro. And I'm going to make it 30 point. When I click OK now, anything that I highlight and I click Section Heading will take on the characteristics of that. It's a way to very quickly assign font characteristics to different parts of your document. Of course, having done that now, it's thrown my page alignment out of whack, so I can just go back in. Yeah, okay, I'll go through table of contents again. So let me delete the table of contents I have. So I go to Layout, Table of Contents. I've changed it so it'll read Table of Contents. Under Style, I should be able to see Section Heading, where it says No Paragraph Style. When I click on it, Section Heading should be there. Up here, No Paragraph Style. I click that, scroll down to Section Heading. Yours is not showing? Is it showing under Other Styles? Okay, hold on. So I've got Section Heading. Okay, now mine's not. Okay, maybe, so if I click Section Heading here then, down below, and I click Add, were you able to get it over there that way? By clicking Section Heading under the Other Styles. You have Other Styles there. So try highlighting it and then click the Add leftward facing chevrons or arrows. Did that work? Okay, so when you click OK, you get the little placement cue. You move it over to approximately where you want and you drop it in. And then using your text tool, you can line up your numbers by hitting tab next to each number. And then you've got a table of contents. Were you able to get it to work? If you didn't, I'll come over and we'll try it as a team. Delene.
Yes, are you going to be looking for all of these little interactive directions within the PDF as you're reading? Because I'm building mine from scratch, and I didn't add any of the interactive pieces other than the buttons and the pages, which I'm having a problem with right now. So I did the transitions, but when it goes into PDF format, would you be looking for how we told software to build our document?
I'll be looking at, does it move about
Okay.
in a way that's logical? Okay? And on Wednesday, we'll add a sound file that will accompany the 50 years of creativity. But I think that's enough to frustrate you for today. So I'll come around individually, and we'll see what we can work out. I just got to shut down my Camtasia here.